silence of mediocrity to disperse expansive, game-changing marketing wisdom. This is the Jeff Payne Show.
Reaching for a higher place than we can reach alone. Get up, get in, it's time to win. This is a Jeff Payne Show.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Jeff Payne. You're listening to episode number 9. I'll admit it, I spend time on Instagram, probably more than I should. But every now and then a reel comes along that's worth your time too. I came across one recently that I think you're really going to appreciate. I want to share it with you to talk about what I think the message behind it really means for you and your business. Before I go any further, head over to the show notes at jeffpayne.net, find this episode, and watch the reel yourself. I'm going to do my best to tell it to you in words, but seeing it lands quite differently. The acting, the setting, the facial expressions, it all hits harder when you watch it. Go to jeffpayne.net, pull up the show notes, and watch it. You'll thank me later. Okay, here's the story. Picture a restaurant, a nice one, the kind with real linen napkins and a waiting list. There are two guys. One is Richie, a kitchen worker, probably mid-40s. The other is the restaurant owner, younger, well-dressed, clearly someone who built something he's proud of. Richie walks up and says, "Can I wash dishes or something?" The owner doesn't miss a beat. He says, "No, we've got the best dishwashers in the world. You just slow them down." Then the owner spots something, a fork, not cleaned right. He calls it out. Richie mutters something under his breath, something about blankety blank forks. The owner says one word, outside. They both go outside, just the two of them. And Richie, maybe a little embarrassed, a little frustrated, says, "Man, I'm 45 years old, polishing forks?" And here's where the owner shifts gears. He doesn't fire him. He doesn't apologize either. He goes deep. The owner says, "No one is asking you to be here." Then he asks Richie if he knows the history of this place. When this restaurant opened 12 years ago, it won Best Restaurant in the World that same year. It has retained 3 Michelin stars. There's a waiting list to get in. And then he says something I haven't stopped thinking about. Quote, "Do you see their faces when customers walk in? How stoked they are to see us, and how stoked we have to be to serve them." End of quote. He tells Richie it takes 200 people to keep that restaurant in orbit, and that at any given moment, one person who's been waiting in that long line finally gets their table. They get to spend their time and their money. That moment matters. Then the owner says it. Quote, "I'm sorry, bro, but we need to have some forks without streaks in them. Every day here is the freaking Super Bowl." End of quote. He wraps it up clean. He tells Richie he doesn't have to drink the Kool-Aid. He just needs to respect him, respect the staff, respect the diners, and respect himself. Richie looks him dead in the eye and says 4 words, "I can do respect." And the owner says, "I will see you inside." That's it. That's the whole thing. And man, does it land. Here's what struck me. Most businesses are playing not to lose. They're doing just enough to keep the lights on, keep customers from leaving bad reviews, keep the wheels turning, and that's fine until it isn't. Because the businesses that win, the ones that become a category of one, they're playing a completely different game. They decided that every single day is the Super Bowl. Think about what that restaurant owner was really saying. He wasn't just talking about forks. He was talking about standards. He was talking about culture. He was saying, the people who walked through our door chose us. They planned for this. They waited for this. And we owe them our very best every single time. That's the gap between good and great in business. It's not a strategy. It's not the budget. It's not even talent. It's the decision, the daily decision, that this matters. That showing up is not the same as showing up to win. And here's the hard part. That decision has to come from the top. You don't have to set the standard. You have to make it clear what's expected. Because if you don't, you'll always have people polishing forks just well enough. So let me ask you something. What does your Super Bowl look like? What's your version of the four? The small thing that signals to everyone around you, your team, your clients, your customers, that you take this seriously. Because those small things aren't small. They're signals. They're culture. They're the difference between a business your clients feel good about, choosing, and the ones that become the category of one. A place people wait in line for. You don't have to make everyone drink the Kool-Aid, but you do have to lead. You do have to be clear about what winning looks like on your team. And you do have to surround yourself with people who don't just show up, but show up to play. And that show up to win. Go watch the reel. I have it posted at jeffpayne.net under the post titled "Every Day is the Freaking Super Bowl." There you'll also find the show notes for this episode and an article where I further expanded on my thoughts about this topic. Then ask yourself, what's your Super Bowl? I'm Jeff Payne. Thanks for listening. Lay to win, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to The Jeff Payne Show.
Find the complete archives of all episodes at jeffpayne.net or subscribe for free at Apple Podcasts and never miss an episode.
This program is copyrighted by Jeff Payne Incorporated. All rights reserved.
Each week we bring you a message of inspiration and hope, remembering that true hope is available to all through Jesus Christ.